Yeah, I'm going to show you how to use an SQLite database with Unity. Really handy, obviously, for digital solutions. Being able to use an SQLite database that's all handled inside of the assets folder with a nice little local database. Takes the headache out of it when you're going in a school environment. So I'm actually going off this particular link. Just explains how to do it. I'm going to run through these steps. As you can see, it's pretty simple. So this is what I'm going to go through. So starting out by telling us to create a new folder under Assets folder and rename it Plugins. In Unity, whenever you're using any kind of plugin where you're putting a DLL or another library, it usually goes in the Plugins folder. The Plugins folder is excluded from some parts of the build, and Unity uses that particular file path to its advantage to find different things. So that's why we're creating that folder. Then it wants us to copy the SQLLite 3 library essentially into your assets plugins folder from the SQLite. I've gone and got these a little bit earlier to make life easier for me. So I've got those three things, SQLite def, I've got here an SQLite 3 DLL. So I'm going to grab both of those and drag them into my plugins folder like instructed. You'll see when you actually click on this, it's got platforms that it can exclude or include. Um, this can change slightly. The version you use can change slightly based on what devices you're targeting, but for now, going to leave it nice and simple. Then it's asking us to download an SQLite browser. Um, I like to use, or I'm going to be using, because it wants us to get the SQLite browser and create a database in the assets folder using that SQL browser. Really quite simple. So what I'm going to do is, what do I use? I use SQLite database browser portable. It's a mouthful, but if you run it, it's a portable version. It can run off a USB, and it brings up a browser. So I'm going to actually create a new database. I'm going to go new database. I'm going to make sure it is in my Unity assets folder here. Now that's going to be important later when we actually go to look for it. And I'm going to call this just test DB for now, test database, sure. It's going to ask me to create my first table. I'm going to make a user table. I'm going to have a username. It's going to be a text object. It's going to be primary key, has to be unique. I'll add another one, call it, I don't know, password. Again, text object. And I'll add another one and call it ID. Has to be unique. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to leave it at 2 for now. Username and password, nice and simple. Table is called, table's called user. Hit OK, and you see it's actually created this for me here. I'm going to browse the data. I'm actually going to put in some data here. Let's go test password like that. And I'm also going to put in another new, oh, I didn't actually do it, whoops. So in here, test user, test password, new record again. I'm going to make this username Bob and the password, your uncle, Bob's your uncle, sure. And I'm going to file and write changes, essentially like file saving. So it's actually created a database and it's put these two things in the table user, and that's what we're going to run with a little later on. I'm actually going to close this for now, and you'll actually see in Unity, in my assets folder, it's created that little local database, testDB, sitting there ready for me to use. I'm going to go back to these instructions. Then says copy system data DLL and monodata SQLite DLL. So these are actually libraries that Unity needs to use in order to access our SQLite library. Unity already has the system data DLL. You don't need to get that one anymore, but you do need to get this monodata DLL. So it's actually going to be sitting in your Unity install file. It gets installed as part of the mono library. So I'm going to go to my Unity. It kind of tells you where to go here. So program files, Unity, editor, data, mono, library, mono 2.0, and I want this mono SQLLite.dll. So I'm going to get this. Now you could get this and just put it on a USB, and as long as your version of Unity is the same, it should work. So mono data SQLLite. So I'm going to Control C to copy that, and it wants me to put that in the plugins folder. So I'm going to go to my plugins folder, and I'm going to paste that mono DLL in. So that step is done. Again, I don't need the system data one. It's already got it. Now, I'm going to make a new script because I'm going to start interacting with this now. So I'm going to right click create. I'm just going to call this DB test. Bad class name, I know. Probably should have used better camel case, I know. But it's a test for now and we're going to live with it. So what it actually is asking us to do is import these namespaces so we can essentially use this stuff later on. So let's have a look at what they are very quickly. I've got, of course, SQLite, what it's going to use, the system data, and system. So I'm going to get rid of these for now. I might make a function here or a method and call it read database for now. Now, this is where we start doing our Unity magic, essentially. I'm going to grab all of this that comes with it, that's in that particular post, and drop it in. And I'll explain what all this stuff does line by line here now. I'm not going to do it in my start function. I've actually made one function specifically for it called read database right now. Let's see if I remember how to indent this properly. There we go. So let's have a look at what this is actually doing. Now the first thing I'm actually going to change is it's trying to connect to our database. It's going to be URI file. It's getting the application.data path. So it's getting the data path to the assets folder. That's why we dropped it under assets in our project. It's why we put it under here, because in Unity, when you say application.data path, it will take you to wherever this is, no matter what device you are on. Then it says pick and place details of S3DB. I need to replace this with my database name. So mine is testdb.db. So I'm going to change this to testdb.db. Now it should be able to link in to my database. It establishes a connection. This is in the SQLLite DLL, so database connection is a new SQLLite connection, and then we open the connection so we can use it. Then I want to create a command. Now this is where I can start using just normal SQL. So I'm going to create a command, then down here in my query, I literally write the query that I want. Now, this is using their example. What I want to actually do is I want to select, now I'm going to actually go back to my browser here because I forgot what I called my my table and each field on that table. So I'm going to go back to my little browser here. Now I can actually go in and go File, Open Database, navigate back to my local database in the Assets folder, and it drops it here. So my table is called User, and I have a username and a password field. So I'm going to select, and I want to get the username and password from, oh man, was it user or users? I think it was user. But again, I can just open this up. I can open my database. Again, navigate back to it. Where was I? DB test assets here. User, yep, username and password. So just user. So here we are from. So I'm going to select username and password from user. I'm just going to get all the usernames and passwords at this point. And then it is going to do your database command. I'm going to set the text to the query I just wrote, and then I'm going to execute that query. Down here in the reader.read, while it's reading values, it's actually going to pull all this stuff back out again and debug it. So this is where you could store this into a local list or whatever it is, and then send it other parts of your app and use that data. Now, right now, this isn't getting the right stuff. So essentially, I want to be able to get a string that's going to be my username, first of all, and it's going to be user, and I'm getting a string in the first position that it's actually reading out. So we're going to pull it back into a big list with the object. And then the next one I'm going to get is their password. I'm going to reader get string at the first position when it's pulling everything back from that table. Then I'm just going to log out here the username of the first user, and I'm going to call it username, and I'm going to get the password of that particular user, and I'm going to give it that password value here. And in theory, if I run this now, it should access my database and pull in my 2 fields that I have so far. So I'm going to drag this into my scene. I think it's compiled. Oh, I'm not actually calling it yet. Let's run this on start. Now there's a reason I'm running this on start, and you'll see why. Oh, you'll see why I've separated into its own method. Oh, whoops. I missed the A. So I'm going to run read database when the program actually starts, and it should pull in and log out those values for me. So let's see what it does. Start. I have my test user and my test password and my username Bob and your uncle. So I'm reading data from my database. Fantastic. Excellent. Wonderful. What if I want to do more? What if I wanted to say add a field to it? Really simple. Now, I'm going to pretty much copy all of this. You can write a wrapper so it maintains the connection, but essentially I want to open and close that connection each time I do something. I find it to be a bit more secure without going into encrypting or doing any kind of bit shifting or anything like that, because I know this is not very secure right now. But I'm going to make a new function, and I'm going to call it, I don't know, add user for now. I'm going to leave pretty much all this the same. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a new SQL query. I'm going to say insert into the user table. Now, if you're unsure about what to actually do here, you can go to the insert into SQLLite docs, and I can actually go into the SQLite any kind of tutorial I'm doing. So it's saying insert into whatever table is. Now I could specify which fields I want to insert and whatever else I want to do. But I'm going to say insert into user, and then I'm going to go values. I believe I do this. So I'm going to go user. I don't know, new user, sure. And the password I'm going to do is going to be this password is new, whatever. um, that'll work for me. So my query is going to be insert into user with the values new user, this password is new. Now I could actually do brackets here and specify what values I'm actually putting in, but because I'm putting in there's going to be no null values in that row, I can pretty much just go straight out and do that. And I don't need to read I don't need to read anything out because that's just going through. So it will go and it will execute it. So what I might do now on start is before I read the database, I'm going to run add user. Now you can change what goes in here quite easily with Unity UI. You just put in different string variables and it would work just fine. But let's try and run it. And oh, I've got an SQLite error. I have a syntax error. What did I do wrong? If you're ever unsure, it really pays to go here and you can go SQLite, insert, there you go, Unity3D. Forums are always your friend. So if I come down in here, here's an insert into. Oh, I've got essentially, there we go. That makes a lot of sense. I have a comma here that I shouldn't have. If I run this, hopefully now with that comma removed, the syntax is correct. Yes, it is. There we go. I missed that comma. So I've got an insert into user values new user. This password is new. Again, if I had any other kind of variable, so let's make a private string and let's make this equal Greg. Now this is something you can pull from anywhere. You can link this particular function up to a button, so if they're signing up for something, let's get another one and just assign it here and say Norman the shark, whatever. So here, essentially, instead of hard coding what I put in, I can then instead do my little plus, and I'm going to put in username here. Then I want to make sure I'm adding there. I'm going to have the little comma. Then I'm going to say, close that, plus password, add, and then start my string again. So this should, in theory, whoops, this will now put in a user with called Greg and a password Norman. Now these are values that you could have generated a number of different ways. You can put them in, whatever it is. So let's let that compile. Turn this off, turn it on. There we go. It's added Greg Norman as a user. If I actually go out of Unity and I go to my SQLLite browser again, and I go in and I open that database up, you'll see that I have all of my data here. And again, like any other database, I could add another record and say, whoops, Bob, password, oh my god, Marley, save the changes in that database, or write the changes, sorry, close it again. I'm going to come in, I'm not going to put another user in again because I've already got that one, I don't want to change it, but if I read that, it should also pull in my new one with, yep, there's Bob Marley sitting down here. So I can write stuff using SQL queries, I can read things in Unity quite simply. And that is using an SQLite database in Unity. I hope that was useful for some of you.